Hello and welcome to the video. This is a video about this model here. This is the AtomRC Eachine Killer Whale. Now, for those of you that watch the channel a lot, you'll know that I love flying fixed-wing models as well as multi-rotors. Now, the fixed-wing part of the hobby has been one that I've been playing with through the various lockdowns. So I built things like Drax, things from E-Wings, last one was the Vortigaunt. I'm excited about the next model from ZOHD, but that isn't here yet. I need something to play with. So I've got this in from Vanguard to have a play with, to kind of just scratch that itch while I'm waiting for the next round of planes to come around. There does seem to be a little bit of a lull at the moment in releases of new fixed-wing products. But this is a little bit interesting, not exactly the kind of stuff that I tend to fly, which is why I thought it'd be fun to have a go. This, as you can tell, is a twin-engined model, and it is quite large. There are tons of room inside for flight controllers, batteries, cameras in loads of different places. It's designed to have a camera in the nose, camera in the tail. You can even sling one in the belly. It is, although it's got quite a lot of capacity for things like batteries, cameras, flight controllers, and all that gubbins, it's actually physically smaller than I expected. So in this video, unfortunately, we're not going to get it to see it fly. I'm still waiting for the weather to calm down. As soon as it does, I'll get to the field and do some flying footage and we'll have a play with that. But I thought it'd be interesting to show you how it comes and kind of give you my first impressions of how it was to put together and talk about the things that I like and also the things that I would probably tweak if I was building another one. So the way it comes packed in the box is actually very good. They're using the really thick bubble wrap to protect it during shipping. Now, at the time of recording, this was only available from the China warehouse. It would be great if they put them in local warehouses, as the cost of shipping has gone up a lot for things being ordered like this on Vanguard. So be careful of that before placing an order. Once you have everything out of the box, it's pretty obvious how it all goes together. Despite the fact that there is no real build instructions, you get a simple one-pager that is part of the box. In there is details of the standard specifications and a rough idea of where you can put the GoPro cameras both in the nose and in the optional tail unit as well. Now, the initial impression of all the foam pieces is that they are well finished, and it does go together pretty well, with the exception of the wing pieces on mine. They're not lining up perfectly. We'll see how that affects the flight performance when I go out to maiden it. I do like the way that they have things like the latches and the access panels, and they have left off the bottom of the motor nacelles so you can get and see the ESCs, and you can also change all the linkages and stuff as well. The linkages on mine were in good shape, with the exception of the flap linkages. They were almost completely unscrewed. So if you're going to put this together, go through a complete setup from start to finish. I used a servo checker extensively on mine to make sure all the servos were fine, to find out where the center values needed to be, and to get all of the control surfaces physically set up well. I'll put a link down below to my plane setup video for OpenTX to show you how I do that. One of the things I noticed was how much room there is inside this model. It is cavernous, so you could easily fit a full flight controller or a little stabilizer, loads of room for batteries in here as well. Sadly, the manual doesn't talk about things like the throws you need, so I'll figure that out and put that in the maiden video, but it does have the CG stuff molded into the underside of the wing, which is very welcome. Specifications for this: it's 1.255 meter wingspan, length is 889 millimeters, weight of the kit is about 600 grams, maximum takeoff weight, they reckon, is about 2.5 kilograms. Mine won't be anywhere near that. Again, we'll come back to that when we do the maiden. It can carry a GoPro 5, 6, 7, 9 in the nose, and the optional tailpiece, as I said, can also put a GoPro in the back if you're following. Motors are recommended are the 2306 1300 to 2000 kV units. I'm going to run this on a 4S LiPo battery using a 4000 4S right in the nose with the little FPV cradle that I popped on the top. Gives me pretty much perfect central gravity. So you might have to work a little bit if you put lots of heavy cameras out there right on the end of the tail. The wings are designed to be removable, which is great for transport, and so is the tail. There's massive canopy on the top that can be removed and underneath the tail, which allows you to reconnect the servos up nice and easily if you want to take it apart for transport. I do like the way that the plane looks when it's all together, and it's going to be interesting to see how it flies and how much power it has with those two motors that come supplied. To actually do the build isn't particularly tricky, but there are a number of things on this model that if I was designing it, I would have tweaked. Things like there isn't a way to secure the plug-in connectors for the wing roots. That's a really nice idea. I love to see that. It makes transporting and repair of things like wings a piece of cake. However, to secure the connector on the inside of the body, it isn't particularly good in my opinion. I've kind of glooped it in with a ton of glue behind it, but it would be better to have had a front plate and to have a bolt that went through so that you can't, if you've been a bit rough and rushed, actually push the inside connector out of the way as you're pushing the wing home into the body. Be careful that there isn't any 5 volts supplied from the ESCs. The ESCs themselves out in the wing are little baby ones. The 5 volt BEC isn't connected back. Now they do provide a little board that you have to kind of wire up, and I actually then soldered it onto one of those connectors in the wing to give me the 5 volts to power everything. I think it's only about, looking up the rating of that, it's about 1.5 amps. I would have preferred 2 or 3 amps just because there's quite a lot of servos on this wing. There's one in each of the vertical tail sections, there's one for the elevator, 2 for the ailerons, 2 for the flaps. Potentially you might run something like a pan and tilt servo gimbal at the front, so you've got head tracker FPV. That is probably going to take you over the 1.5 amp limit, or you'll be very close to it, and that I think is a problem. If I was building another one, I would probably get hold of a separate BEC with maybe a 2 or probably a 3 amp rating, just to make sure that everything is fine, and even if a servo is working incredibly hard or gets a bit hung up, it isn't going to pull the 5 volts down to the point that will reboot the receiver. Disappointingly, it isn't supplied with differential thrust capability. All of the signals for the 2 engines are connected into one cable that goes into the throttle channel on the receiver. So if you do want to do differential thrust, which why wouldn't you, particularly if you're going to put wheels and an undercarriage on this? I'm not on mine, I'm going to make it a belly lander, but when you're taxiing around, having that differential thrust mixed in with the rudder just makes it so much easier. So if you want that, you're going to have to work on the wiring loom before you put it all together. Similarly with the ailerons as well, they're connected up to one single control. So if you want to do crow or any of those kind of funky things with the flaps and ailerons together, then again you're going to have to get your wire snippers out and play with the loom and make that happen. And those kind of things should have been thought about a little bit more, so that they both came in and you had the option of adding a little Y cable if you didn't want that kind of functionality. Other little niggles are things like I had to cut a guide for the FPV thing to sit on the FPV canopy. There are 2 canopies supplied. There's a standard smooth one, and there's also the FPV one that I'm going to be using. It would have been nice to have some kind of slot so that you can secure whatever FPV system you're going to pop on there. I just had to use a Dremel with a small drill and just drill a line of holes and then kind of smudge them together and glue a little lollipop stick underneath and put the Velcro strap around it, and that's working fine. There is a place for the GPS to be moulded in. ZOHD, I do like the way they tend to put little recesses with plastic cups over the top to hide that. There's tons of room in here that you could do it. It isn't the most aerodynamic of models anyway, with a big flat nose designed for a GoPro. So I'm guessing sticking a GPS on the back of it isn't going to cause that much of an issue. But it would have been nice to see that considered when there's so much room inside here for things like flight controllers. And the last point would be, I would have liked to see a better connection for the vertical stabilizers, maybe some wooden supports with screws going in there as well. I've used some pretty strong glue, but we'll see how they survive when we actually get out to the field. I'm just very careful trying not to knock them, because every time you knock them I can just hear the squeaking noise, and that for me would be a lot more comfortable if there was a couple of screws going into some balsa that have been mounted in the horizontal stabilizer as part of the tail. All of those things can be overcome if you're an experienced builder and you've done this a couple of times, which is why I was saying I don't think this is aimed at a newer pilot. But if you're looking for a twin engine model that has loads of room for battery, loads of room for flight controller, we'll take 2 GoPros, one at the front and one at the back, with FPV stuff, then this looks like a pretty good option. But be careful of that postage, and hopefully I'll be able to get this thing maidened, and I'll come back and tell you how to set it up. Again, the CG marks are moulded in the wing. I'll see how accurate they are, and I'll also come back once I've figured out what all the throws need to be and document those as well. So unfortunately, they're not anywhere in the manual, and that information should be sent out with models like this just to help pilots set it up and get a good chance that the maiden's going to go off okay. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organized into easy to follow playlists that, if you're trying to learn a topic, will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.